We are off and running in another episode of the Mike and Molson Too Good for Radio podcast. Thank you to all our sponsors, Uncle Wiggley's Wieners and Ball Soda and Nugenics and everything else in between and Wang's
That's right.
Gun.
If you own a suggestive-sounding business and want to sponsor us,
yeah.
Very economical ad rates here.
Yes, exactly.
Mike and Molson Too Good for Radio podcast.
Basically, just allowing us to say your suggestive name of your business will get you, and she'll like it too's. Wherever you, Doug Flutie, endorsed by the Big Hurt, everything else in between. Something we've done over the years is when hurricane season, which has started up, we always kind of go through the names that they have predetermined for the storms, and we try to suggest or determine which of those storms are actually going to cause some damage.
Right.
I don't know historically what percentage we're correct on, but they have the new list.
We'll have to go back because we did this time last year, but now it is June through I think November is hurricane season, and so here are the list of names they have set up for the hurricane season. Are these going to be serious hurricanes or not?
Okay,
we begin with Alberto.
Boy, Alberto could be. Alberto's one of those ones like I don't know, Alberto.
I feel like Alberto is going to be a nuisance. You know, there's going to be some power outages, some flooding and everything. Not going to be a devastating,
right?
But
Right.
It will get your attention.
Yes, Alberto will get your attention. That seems like I am Alberto. Pay attention to me.
I'm not at all worried about Beryl.
Beryl?
Beryl. Beryl.
Yeah, no, that's not even a real name. What the hell is that?
If that one even makes it ashore, I'll be surprised.
If that becomes even more than just a tropical depression.
Yeah, it'll spin out there in the Atlantic and then it'll fizzle and we'll get
see
there.
you away, Beryl.
Are we concerned at all about Hurricane Chris?
No. Hurricane, they're not even trying.
No.
Beryl and Chris.
I'm not worried about Hurricane Chris. I'm not terribly worried about Hurricane Debbie.
Now hear me out. I know this is an old joke from when we were actually on the radio. But please don't let Debbie be anything near Texas. If they go in and they're like, this Hurricane Debbie does Dallas wrong.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want any
that's
part.
A good point.
I don't want any part of that sticky, schlocky news coverage of Debbie does what?
Yeah.
Watch out.
You're right. You're right about that. It's Debby, so I don't know if that matters. I think the movie was IE, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was. But I'd also want Debbie blows in off the coast of Florida. Like, I don't want any part of that.
Then we have Ernesto. Probably going to be trouble.
Yeah, Ernesto
sounds like trouble.
You don't mess with Ernesto.
Yeah.
You look at him cross-eyed, he's going to wreak some havoc.
I'm thinking Ernesto goes right into the panhandle. I think this is a northern Florida, Louisiana thing.
Watch out for Ernesto. That seems about right.
Francine doesn't sound very threatening. Gordon.
No, Gordon.
Yeah, Gordon.
I always thought, by the way, quick aside on Gordon, I always thought it was the Gordon fisherman, not the Gorton fisherman.
Right.
So I would be like, the Gordon fisherman?
Who's Gordon?
Yeah, why is he fishing?
Where'd he get that yellow jacket?
Yeah.
Helene. Helene sounds exotic.
It does.
Sounds tropical.
Tropical storm. She'll never get to a hurricane, but that may be a tropical storm we have to deal with.
I'm saying Helene is trouble for Puerto Rico. And then it turns north.
Okay. Understood. Understood. It's just a short-term relationship with Helene.
Hurricane Isaac sounds like a badass.
Yes and no.
No?
If they call it Hurricane Ike, I'm more afraid of it than Isaac, per se. To me, Isaac on the sea is always like, hey, thumbs up. He's a love boat.
The love boat guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Hurricane Joyce. Don't worry about that one.
No.
Hurricane Kirk is not going to be an issue.
No. That's not going to be a captain of any hurricanes.
Hurricane Leslie. Now that does sound like one of those hurricanes. They might retire that name. I'm thinking whatever.
That bad?
I think so. I think Leslie is going to be devastating, and it's one of the ones they retire.
I don't know if I'd go that far on Leslie.
Yeah,
I think Leslie's pleasant. I wouldn't say Leslie's going to be that big a deal.
I've got a list of the retired names too.
Okay, well let's
give you an idea of how
bad they were.
Yeah.
Okay,
Milton.
No. Hurricane Milton is milquetoast at best.
Yeah.
No one wants Hurricane Milton. Just kind of like, oh, Hurricane Milton blew the stapler over.
Nadine.
Maybe Nadine. Yeah. Maybe. Okay. Uh-oh.
I'm getting a vibe from Hurricane Oscar.
Yes. I would agree with you. Oscar.
Because when you compare some of the ones that they've retired, like Andrew, Isidore, Fabian, Ingrid, Sandy.
Okay,
I don't know. There's some energy in those things.
Right.
Obviously, Katrina.
Yes.
There'll never be another Hurricane Katrina.
Right.
That kind of thing. Patty.
No.
Raphael.
Yes.
Yes.
Because Raphael is always the wild card Ninja Turtle. Mm-hmm. And I think Raphael can inflict some real damage on you.
All right. I feel like Hurricane Sarah. For some reason, that sounds mysterious to me.
Sarah?
Sarah. Hurricane Sarah.
Sarah can break one of two ways. The Sarahs I've known. Okay. Some of them can be a hurricane of just a hot mess.
Yeah.
And others are more like buttoned down, put together. Is it with an H or without an H?
It's just S-A-R-A.
Okay. That Sarah, I think, is a little bit more of a loose cannon.
I think so, too.
I'm with you. I think Hurricane Sarah may be the one to watch out for.
And then we wrap out the season with Hurricane Tony.
Yeah, Tony's going to wreck shop.
Tony's going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
If we get this far in the list.
Yeah.
Valerie and William.
Neither one of those.
Neither one of those are.
No. The beginning and the end. Alberto to Tony.
Alberto, Ernesto, Isaac. Watch out for that. Sarah,
yeah.
Raphael.
Raphael, definitely. If we get down to Raphael, watch out.
Those are the ones. So those are your hurricane predictions for 2024.
All right. We'll see if we are right or wrong. Hopefully we're wrong on all of them. I don't want any big hurricanes to happen, but we'll see if we are correct on some of the ones that do transpire and wreak havoc. Speaking of wreaking havoc, a new feature here. This week in just criminality, we begin with a follow-up story. Remember that story about the guy in Texas who was walking through the antique mall and is killed, and he was shoving stuff up his butt?
I do remember this, yeah.
Yeah. That guy pleaded guilty to taking merchandise from the antique store and shoving the items up his rectum before returning them to display shelves. Mitchell Vest, copped to the criminal mischief in connection with vile incidents earlier this year at the shops in Spring, a Houston suburb. According to police, Vest visited one store and placed a makeup brush and a restoration hardware piece in his anus before placing them back on the shelf. The owner of a second business, a curiosity shop. Okay, well, if you're going to put anything up your butt, the curiosity shop would be the place to do it, right? Just curious how it feels. It's in the name. He's like, hey,
absolutely.
He took an antique bottle opener and a tobacco tent can and placed them into his anus under his green skirt kilt, then returned them to the shelf.
And as I recall from the story, according to security cameras, he was in the store for a long time.
Yes.
He was loitering for a while, which suggests that a good 75% of everything in that store was probably in his butt.
Yes. In both instances, the soiled merchandise valued...
You got to liquidate.
Yeah.
Gross.
Gross. Valued at a combined $204, had to be thrown away due to feces on them. Gross. Mm-hmm. What do you think he got? By the way, the guy's 6'6", 250 pounds. Mitchell Vest.
Wow.
What do you think his sentence was? Pleading guilty to walking around an antique shop and shoving stuff up your ass and then putting it back on the shelf.
So he pled guilty, so maybe there was a plea bargain going on there, but I'm going to say he gets 90 days and a year probation.
He got 12 months probation, and since he's a first-time offender, if he successfully completes the probationary term, the misdemeanor conviction could be wiped from his record.
Oh.
Pardon the pun.
Yeah, pardon again.
That never gets wiped from your record. You can't just pretend you never shoved antiques up your butthole and put them back on the shelf.
Part of the sentence.
That's always got to be on your record.
Part of the sentence needs to be a tattoo on his forehead saying, I'm the guy that went into an antique store and put things in my butt.
Yes, exactly. You can't.
That has to follow you for the rest of your life.
Pardon the term, because expunged and butthole shouldn't go together, but that shouldn't be expunged when you've put things in your butthole and put them back on a shelf. That's just too lenient.
Here's another guy who needs some creative sentencing just because he's an ass. We go to St. Petersburg, Florida, where this 33-year-old guy was spray painting graffiti. On one of those highway walls, they put up for the sound barriers.
Right, yeah.
That you see down there. So he's spray painting that. Police arrest him, and they say, "Sir, what's your name?" And he says,
"None of your business." Or none ya? None of your business.
For some reason, he says, "My name's Mr. Monopoly."
Oh, God. Does he have a monocle on, too, like a ding-dong?
He's a 33-year-old dumb-looking guy.
He was just graffitiing it. I'm Mr. Monopoly. Real inventive.
And then you'll be able to guess this. I'm confident.
Okay.
The cop said, all right, what's your date of birth?
420-something. 420-69?
Yes.
That's what he went with?
That's what he went with. That was his Mr. Monopoly was the setup. The punch was, and I was born 4/20/69.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, write that down on your little, write it down.
Please.
I want to see you write it down.
Please tell me the next sentence in this story is the responding officer said, well, guess what, Mr. Monopoly? You're not passing go. You're not collecting $200. You're going directly to jail.
I hope so. Then they finally found his driver's license.
What was his real name?
His real name is Ryan Howard.
Okay. But you're 33, 4/20/69.
Right.
What do you think you're doing? And you can't come up with anything better than that. You've already said Mr. Monopoly. At least pretend to be Mr. Monopoly and say, yeah, whatever the day the stock market crashed is when Mr. Monopoly was born because he bought up all the all the properties of those who perished that day.
And you've heard the expression, this person has a punchable face.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show you Mr. Monopoly. Ryan, Mr. Monopoly Howard.
4/20/69.
4/20/69.
Oh, yeah. That
Don't you
guy,
just want to absolutely crack him?
But by the way, he does look like a young Mr. Monopoly.
No.
He's got a bit of a stash and he's balding.
He's got a bushy mustache. That's about all
and he's
got.
balding. He's got a little Mr. Monopoly in him.
And remember, Mr. Monopoly does not have the monocle. Right? It's Mr. Peanut who has the monocle.
Mr. Monopoly's
or do I have that backwards?
No, Mr. Peanut has a monocle, but I believe Mr. Monopoly has a monocle too.
I think this is one of those Mandela effect things.
No, Mr. Monopoly has a monocle. Look that stuff up right now. We can do this on the not radio because if we were on the radio, we'd have to stall. But right now, since it's the podcast, you could fast forward. Oh, crap. You're right. Mr. Monopoly does not have a monocle.
And that's one of those Mandela effect things where everybody says they insist that he has a monocle.
I did.
And then you go back and you look at it, it's like, he doesn't have a monocle at all. And and I think the people are confusing him with Mr. Peanut.
Because they both wear top hats.
Sure.
Son of a bitch. You learn something
exceedingly wealthy.
All that peanut money that Mr. Peanut rakes in from the Planters Corporation.
So he's been charged with criminal mischief and released on a $1,000 bond.
He should be more than that for his dumb jokes. Moving on in people who are in runs in with the law. Here is a actual police officer that is now in legal hot water for a situation that arose in the backseat of his squad car.
Okay.
A U.S. police officer from the city of San Diego resigned after an embarrassing incident emerged last year, where he was forced to seek help from a fellow policeman after becoming locked in the backseat of his own police cruiser with a woman he had arrested for suspected car theft. The officer, identified as Anthony Hare, had been assisting in the arrest of individuals suspected of a car theft on the night of August 15, 2023. One of the arrested individuals was a woman with an outstanding bench warrant. According to the internal investigation, Officer Hare's body camera captured a conversation between him and the woman during the transport. The dialogue took a concerning turn when the woman made suggestive remarks towards Hare, including propositions for sexual activity. Hare responded by requesting her to refrain from such conversation. So here's what happens. She's in the back of the car. She goes, "Are you single?" The officer goes, "Yeah, but you're not." She says, "I'm down to right now." He goes, "Don't say that right now. Don't say that right now because everything's being recorded right now." So she says, "I'm down to hump. I want to get on to the getting." And he says, "No, you can't say that. You can't say that. You can't say that." After the officer's car approached a quiet neighborhood, communication between him and the woman dwindled. He then deactivated his body camera. GPS data indicated Hare's cruiser slowed to 7 miles per hour before turning onto a dark residential street near the destination. The cruiser stopped at 1:34 a.m. So she says, "I'm down to just getting my freak on right now." He freaks out. "Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that." But then proceeds to slow down into a dark residential area.
So what's funny about that is he's not saying, "Don't do that. We're not talking about this." He's saying, "Don't say it right now.
Right.
Because we're going to actually do this. You can't say it out loud."
20 minutes later, Hare contacted a fellow officer inquiring about a master key for patrol cars.
Oh, no.
He revealed he was locked in the back seat with the woman and required assistance.
This is hilarious.
So she says, "I'm down to hump." He goes, "Hell yeah, that sounds awesome. I'm going to go in this dark residential street." And then they start doing the hibbity-dibbity.
Yeah.
20 minutes later.
They climb in the back seat to do this.
Right.
And there are no latches or things on the doors for obvious reasons.
Correct. So now he's locked in and he has to radio in,
Yeah, this is Officer Hare
Wow.
in car 69. I'm requesting a master key for the patrol cars. I have a situation going on here. Over.
I like the picture in my head that he's got his pants down, but he still has his walkie-talkie on his shoulder.
Oh, yeah. After an hour in the back seat together, a supervisor arrived to unlock the door. So I had to go up the chain of command.
Yeah, Officer Hare, responding officer. Yeah, we're going to have to run that up the chain of command. Going to have to get the supervisor involved for the master
obvious
control.
question is, what are you doing in the backseat of your patrol car? That's where the bad guys go.
Right. In subsequent interviews, Hare maintained that he was merely checking on the woman and that the door accidentally locked behind him.
You know, the wind blows.
You know how you drive down just off the beaten path to 7 miles an hour and then stop for 20 minutes before
Holy
transporting the
moly.
prisoner? He also explained that his body camera was dislodged while exiting the cruiser. Despite the U.S. officer's explanation, the investigation revealed traces of semen on his belt.
Ah.
The woman.
Man, so he literally just pulled his pants down. He didn't.
It just
how
went
how
to
romantic.
Yes, it just went to town. She said.
I know.
When she responded, "I'm down," and part of the language, "I'm down to right now," is what she said. And so he was like, "Okay, I'm going to call your bluff."
He just unzipped.
Yeah, the woman denied any
slapping around.
inappropriate behavior during
Still
the
got
time.
his shoes on.
He tendered his resignation on September 14th, less than a month after the incident.
Probably still had his gun on his belt.
Oh, I'm sure he did. And I'm surprised that didn't go off, too.
Yeah, no kidding.
In an interview with Internal Affairs investigator, a fellow officer described Hare's demeanor during the incident as panicked. His account, along with the woman's denial of misconduct, formed the basis of the investigation. I heard and noticed Officer Hare had a panicky voice, said the officer who helped in the probe. I asked him if he was okay. He said yes, and I asked if he had my patrol car key with me. I asked why was he asking and what did he need. Officer Hare then asked me if I could meet him. I asked him location. He said near Cottonwood. I asked him why he needed me, and he said he would tell me when I got there. He said he was really embarrassed, is what he said.
But yeah, you got to call a supervisor. It's like, I don't know what he's doing in the backseat. You need to go check this
What's
out.
he doing back there, and why does he need a master lock for the patrol car? So he has vanished now from the police force. Someone's penis apparently has vanished in another criminal case.
This is why, the people who protect us, they have a thankless job. And an officer in Ghana has had to arrest 2 Nigerians for alleging that their penis disappeared after shaking hands with a stranger.
So just a casual meeting. Hi, nice to meet you. Oh, my God, my penis is gone.
The allegation led to a mob attack.
Oh, no. Did anyone check to see if the penis has actually disappeared?
That's coming up. Okay. Stand by.
Stand by. That's coming
up. You won't
up.
believe what happens next.
And
we'll be right back after this for Nugenics.
And she'll like it, too. Your penis vanished because of a stranger? Well, we have a product for you. It's Nugenics. Even rejuvenate your penis.
And I've heard this before, that there is a Nigerian superstition that there's somebody out there, a witch or something, who can
just take
steal your penis.
Steal your penis?
One day it's there.
Steal your penis?
It's just not there, yeah.
Okay.
So these 2 guys say, yeah, we shook hands with this dude, and now we don't have a penis anymore. And then a mob went and starts beating this guy up.
Because he stole the penis.
Yeah.
The penis mob.
Yeah, so he's in the hospital right now. The assistant commissioner of the police confirmed the incident, disclosed that one of the arrested persons complained of a missing penis.
I got a missing penis. Hey, pardon me.
You complain when you wake up like with a sore neck. I slept wrong. Ah, man, it's really just geez, and my penis is gone.
Hello, complaint department. How can we help you? Yeah, I woke up this morning. Penis just not there.
So they continue to investigate, and then the guy says, "Oh, hey, cool, it's back."
What?
Yeah.
It magically reappeared?
He says the penis had been restored, though not as strong as it used to be. The officer said,
"It magically reappeared."
We told him, we're not medical professionals, so we can't exactly determine if what you're saying is true, that you have a missing penis. For now, we're going to keep them until the victim is discharged for interrogations to ascertain the facts before knowing our next step of action. So these guys are so I mean, think how many layers of weird that is. So shake hands, penis disappears. Mob attacks the guy who made the penis disappear. He's in the hospital.
Dick Mob shows up.
Cops show up and say, hey, we're not qualified to determine if you have a penis or not, so we're going to hold you in jail until we can talk to the guy who took your penis.
Who's been beaten. But now you're saying while you're in the jail cell, sorry, penis is back, just not as strong as the penis once was.
They would arrange with medical professionals to examine them to ascertain the truth or otherwise of their claims.
How would one tell if the penis had gone and come back? And how do we match the strength of penis before penis disappearance to the strength of penis after disappearance?
This is why we need a medical professional.
Okay. But I'm asking, how does a medical professional?
I don't know. You give it a stress test.
Did you bench press? Was your penis bench pressing things beforehand?
Yeah, a man your age should have a much stronger penis than you have. He advised the public against taking the law into their own hands and engaging in mob attacks.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
But should rather refer the alleged criminal issues to the police for investigations. How many phone calls do the cops in Ghana get for saying, I can't seem to find my dick this morning?
My dick is. I woke up and my dick was gone. All because I. And how do you blame that one particular stranger?
Yeah, right.
Out of all the people you meet in the day, you go, that guy stole my dick. I don't have it anymore.
Yeah. And it goes on to tell some more of the story of the thing and how the mob attack played out. But
yikes.
We'll keep you posted on this. We'll keep an eye on Ghanan news.
And speaking of vanishing penises, there was a wife who went to Slate.
Yeah, this is an interesting
claiming
story.
that her husband's penis may have disappeared.
Yeah, she says
metaphorically, not like the Ghanan story.
Writes a letter into Slate and says, I've been married for almost 2 years, got a 1-year-old son. She says, I have not had sex in a year and a half.
Oh.
And she says she goes to her husband every day and says, how about now?
Boy, that seems like the dream for most husbands. Every day for a year and a half. Can we do it?
She says, but he always seems to have an excuse. We talked about whether or not he should see a medical professional. He doesn't want to.
Did he shake a stranger's hand at work someday?
I feel like that's what's coming up next.
Yeah.
She says, hey, I've expressed my feelings. This is, I'm trying to be open and honest here.
Yeah, I have needs.
You have needs.
I know we have a kid, but we still have needs.
I said, is there anything that you want? Do you want to try something?
Yeah, role play or something along those lines or whatever it may be.
He said, I just need to let you know. He said, I'm only into normal things.
That's what he told her?
Yeah. Just as I'm into normal stuff. I don't want any cowboys or role plays or just nothing.
Well, okay.
I don't want to stand.
But why is it not happening?
If you just stand on the dining room table and swing from the chandelier, I don't want to do any of that.
So, but then why is he not doing it? If he just wants normal stuff, then what seems to be the issue for a year and a half?
She says, I even said, should we just have an open marriage so I can get a little, something?
Oh, okay. Because she's like, if you're not going to give it to me, sir,
right?
We have a kid together. I'll go and do. That seems to be hip and new.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, offshoot. Quick aside,
please.
When it comes to the weird open marriage stuff, recent trip down to Florida, went outside the Disney bubble for a second, went into a Starbucks. Okay, wife was wearing she had a top that had a pineapple right side up.
Oh no,
pineapple right side up.
That's enough. That's enough.
And and dummy me. And they were very tiny. On the shorts that I was wearing, I had some pineapples, like really tiny knit pineapples on the shorts. So we're in this Starbucks, and this like 60-year-old dude, as we're waiting to pick up our mobile order, the 60-year-old dude then approaches and goes, I just have to ask, is there anything going on with the pineapples here?
Oh, my God.
And immediately my wife was just like, no, just cute top. And I'm like, no, we just wanted to match. Like,
it's a nice tart fruit.
I'm like, it's just, we just wanted to match. Oh, I just didn't know if there's some type of pineapple festival or something going on.
That's not what he was asking.
No, that's not what he was asking at all. He was thinking that we were the weirdo upside down pineapple people.
The swingers. Wow.
Like, I was like, that's pretty gutsy to just kind of out in public come up and say.
No, it's not. I blame you and your wife.
We're at fault?
Oh, yeah.
For wearing...
You put up the bat signal.
No, we did not. It wasn't...
Open for business.
It wasn't upside...
I would have asked you and your wife.
It wasn't upside down.
Really? Jen, maybe me and Mike, you want to... I would have said that.
And the thing about it is, the pineapples...
Doesn't matter.
The pineapple...
Doesn't matter.
The pineapple on my short was like minuscule. So he had to... So I don't know if he's hitting on me or hitting on her or what.
They don't care, these crazy...
Weird upside down pineapple people,
old swinger people.
It was just
everybody.
Like I've never like felt so uncomfortable in my life. It's a whole fruit you can't wear anymore.
You can't.
No,
you can't.
So
no.
I've learned my lesson.
But
burn it.
Look, if one of you was wearing something with a pineapple on it, that wouldn't have happened. You both had the pineapple on.
Yeah, I didn't think
you may as well just had a sign on your back.
I guess I should have rethought and burned. Yeah. I'm just gonna go home and burn those shorts now. Just burn.
But you just can't wear them at the same time.
Okay.
Totally your fault. Totally your fault.
Son of a! I thought it was that weird old guy.
No, he was. That was the right thing to do. That was right because look, how often do you see this out in the wild, right? So if you're a swinger, if you're a crazy person and you're a swinger and you're looking for the pineapple code and you see a couple, they both have pineapples on. Oh yeah, you're gonna ask.
All right.
Hell yeah.
All right. He shot his shot, I guess. And it was denied quickly.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's a hilarious story.
Yeah, so I felt very uncomfortable, but also kind of, you're like, oh, all right, maybe I still have it.
Yeah, right.
That the old weird swinger pineapple people were intrigued enough to ask.
If you guys need to spice things up with a bunch of 68-year-olds at a Florida retirement home,
old wrinkly balls
over there at the Villages.
I got a Nugenic sponsorship. Here we go. All right, back to.
All right, so we've got this husband and wife, married 2 years.
She's
sexless marriage.
Wants it open. Yeah, nothing. She offers open.
She's trying everything to get this guy.
Right.
To just do me. You know,
do me, please.
And she says we had an active sex life when we were dating, had a kid, got married, and now nothing. I'm still.
Yeah, I'm out here. I want it.
I'm still up for it. He is not. So then she says, I'm starting to wonder, is my husband asexual?
He's just not turned. He's just
one of these guys that just doesn't want sex.
Shut down. Yeah, exactly.
And she said, if that's the case, I can wrap my head around that. That's fine. So then she says, I was checking his browsing history. Because I was looking for an article we had discussed a few weeks ago, and I realized he watches porn every single day.
That's a bit of a bad habit.
So now she thinks, hey, maybe there's an on-ramp here. It's like, oh, is this? Do you want to watch this
together? Yeah,
She's like
that's
thinking,
your thing.
Oh, maybe if one of those together, maybe
exactly. If that's your thing, so that's a very open-minded individual there.
And she said, if you want to watch porn, maybe we can do that. And he says, nah, that's not that. That's not bad. So what she starts to see in the browser history is that he really likes cheating wife porn and pregnancy porn.
Oh, okay.
And she goes on to say, hey, when I was pregnant with my son, he wouldn't even touch me.
Okay, a weird kink of afterwards, like during, no.
So he likes porn and is not asexual. What more can I do to not be in a celibate marriage? She signs it, just want the D.
Yeah, of course she does. There's a couple of guys in Ghana that could weigh their penis strength that would gladly probably help you, and it would fit right into his kink of cheating wife.
There's a dude down there that steals them on the regular.
Right, exactly.
He's probably got a whole cabinet full.
Yeah.
She says, your assessment of your husband's sexuality may be spot on, but I think it's important to note that some asexual people do watch and enjoy porn and poke around on message boards, and you'll see people identifying as both asexual and porn watchers, according to...
So for them, it's just like watching Jeopardy? Like, that doesn't really do anything for me. I'm just watching.
It says it's good that you're communicating as a couple, though, even if it hasn't gotten you anywhere. Some couples don't even get to that step. A real wishy-washy
It seems
answer.
like...
She says, perhaps you could suggest some of your own things that turn you on. It sounds like she's done all this.
Yeah.
Couples counseling, she recommended that. He wouldn't do it.
You're not helping this woman.
She's floating these options may not yield a yes, but they may at least create a space for a new line of dialogue. yeah, man, what do you? That's one of these things where you go. On one hand, I think there's enough libertarian in me where it's like, okay, you want to watch porn, watch porn.
Go right. Yeah, I don't mind.
You're not hurting anybody, and they're not hurting anybody.
But when it's affecting your relationship that adversely.
But yeah, when it's gotten to the point where the only thing that gets you going is pregnant porn.
How do you get down that
and you can't get it on with your own wife
because
it's like, man, the dude's broken.
Yeah, exactly. There needs to be something.
The dude's broken.
Yeah,
he needs to have his penis stolen by a gun
with a handshake.
Yeah,
and then he'll hope for it
That's
back.
Right. You don't deserve that penis.
You don't deserve that penis, you weird porn kink guy.
So yeah, somewhere there is just a randy ass woman who just is looking to get some, and this guy won't give it to her.
Maybe they should have gone to Dr. Ruth, because that's how we're going to wrap up today's Too Good for Radio podcast. Because earlier this week, as a recording of this particular episode, Dr. Ruth celebrated her 96th birthday. And I mentioned it on the actual radio, but I cannot do the impersonation justice that one Johnny Molson does. Because the thing about Dr. Ruth's Twitter feed is she takes current events and turns them into sexual innuendos. Any good ones as of late from her Twitter feed?
She's responding to another post about somebody folding laundry neatly.
Okay.
And so she says, my question would be, do you want to have sex with someone who needed to fold their towels so carefully? Terrific sex is messy, not neat!
See, I can't do it justice. That's Dr. Ruth to a T.
Uh-huh.
It's like she's here in the room with us.
Then there is a little video.
And should sex be that messy? I understand there's things going all over the place.
Yes, it should!
Okay.
You should make a mess!
Messy sex!
Then you've got her commenting on a little video of a toddler.
Oh, no.
Who is just learning to walk, and she sort of braces herself as she goes down this tiny step.
Okay.
To which Dr. Ruth says, I bet she uses protection the first time she has sex!
What a leap.
You can't say that.
One, you're not supposed to say that. And two, just because a child is being careful going down the stairs doesn't mean how many years later they're going to be like, well, now I must use protection in this as well. But you should, kids. But you shouldn't be listening to this podcast.
That's right. Let's see what else. The Associated Press posts about a prehistoric lake sturgeon. And she says, hopefully your prehistoric sex life isn't endangered. If you're lonely and need a partner, do something about it. Get rid of loneliness. It starts with you.
So,
settle down, Ruth.
Settle down, Dr. Ruth.
Yeah.
Your sex life is going extinct? Come on. Any other beauties here as we wrap up? I can't wait.
April, this will be, because I don't think we can top this.
Okay.
On April 18th, she posts, today is anal sex day. What? It is?
Is there a national anal sex day?
That's what she says. Today is anal sex day. If you're into it, great. If not, don't feel pressured. But if you're thinking about it, I guess today is a good day as any.
I am talking to you, Mitchell Vest. It's a good day to shove it up your rectum. Rectum damn near killed him.
So, yeah, if you want to follow Dr. Twitter on X, I guess.
Dr. Ruth.
Yeah. What did I say?
If you want to follow Dr. Twitter on X.
All right. You know what? We've obviously been talking into microphones too long today.
Yes, we have. So we'll wrap it up there.
Stupid.
And we need to tweet at Dr. Ruth so she can tweet back at us.
Oh, yeah.
And we can read it in her voice.
Yeah, we should ask her just something benign and see if she can respond.
That's our homework assignment.
In a pornographic way.
Yeah, because we have like 4 German listeners. So for them, we apologize.
We just come right out and say, look, Dr. Ruth, it seems like every tweet you read, you somehow turn it into sex. What's going on with you?
Yes, exactly.
And then she will say, maybe you shouldn't be having sex.
Maybe you should talk to your sponsors, Eugenics, because she'll like it too.